Men of experience, you've lived through struggles. You've faced loss, disappointment, and the relentless march of time. You've learned that life isn't always fair, and that many of the things you once thought would bring happiness often fall short. But let me ask you, how often do you stop and ask yourself, what truths do I need to accept in order to truly be at peace with this life? You don't have to be at war with your own existence. The Stoics, men just like us, lived through the harshest of times and still found the key to a life well lived. Today, I'm going to share 5 truths that may be uncomfortable, but are the foundation of a life of strength, purpose, and, yes, true happiness. If you're tired of living in frustration and want to find the peace that comes from accepting life as it is, then this is for you. Let's start with a truth that's hard to swallow, especially for those of us who've spent a lifetime chasing success. You're not that important. Now, before you dismiss this as just another negative message, hear me out. Over the years, you've likely built a reputation, climbed the ranks in your career, and earned your place in the world. But the truth is, none of it matters as much as you think. The world keeps turning, whether you're here or not. In fact, the very notion that you are the center of the universe is the kind of thinking that can trap you in a cycle of stress, frustration, and burnout. Think about it. Many of the things that once consumed your time, hitting the next promotion, competing with others, gaining recognition, don't have the same weight they once did. Perhaps you've reached a point where you've realized that personal success, no matter how much you've achieved, doesn't fill the emptiness or bring the peace you might have expected. The Stoics understood this. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, reminded us that our time is finite, and we spend so much of it chasing things that won't matter in the end. He wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The key to true success and real peace lies not in feeding our egos or chasing status, but in focusing on what we can control: our mindset, our actions, and our relationships. So what does this mean for you, as someone who has lived through decades of striving? It means you can stop carrying the burden of being the most important person in the room. Instead, you can embrace a more meaningful form of success, one that's rooted in inner strength, wisdom, and the ability to live in accordance with your values. It's about letting go of the need to prove something to the world and focusing on being the best version of yourself, regardless of external validation. When you let go of the weight of importance, then you free yourself to live a life of purpose and fulfillment that no one can take away. Now let's face another difficult truth. Life isn't always fair. You've seen it firsthand. No matter how hard you've worked, how much you've sacrificed, life sometimes deals a hand that just doesn't make sense. Maybe you've lost opportunities you deserved, or you've watched others who didn't put in the effort reap rewards you worked your whole life for. There's no shortage of examples where life has seemed downright unjust. For some of you, this might sting more deeply than others. You've put in the hours, the grit, the sweat, and the blood, and yet there were setbacks. Maybe life didn't give you the results you expected, or even the recognition you earned. It can be easy to become bitter, to feel as if the world owes you something for all you've done. But here's the tough reality: it doesn't. The Stoics had a powerful way of dealing with this. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." His point? You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. No matter your age or your journey, you've probably experienced your share of life's injustices. And while it's natural to feel frustrated, the Stoic path encourages us to see these challenges as opportunities for growth. It's easy to look at unfairness and think, "Why me?" But a Stoic mindset would ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient in the face of adversity?" In fact, it's often in those moments of hardship that we discover who we truly are. When things don't go as planned, you're forced to dig deeper into your own character, to find strength that you didn't know existed. And that's where real success lies, not in avoiding the unfairness of life, but in how you rise above it. The lesson here is simple. Don't waste time expecting life to be fair. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of man who can handle whatever life throws your way. The unfairness of life doesn't have to break you. It can make you stronger if you let it. Now here's a truth that might sting a little. Not everyone will like you. As men who've lived through decades of life, chances are you've encountered your fair share of people who didn't appreciate you, didn't respect you, or outright didn't like you. Maybe it's a colleague who undermined your efforts, a family member who disagreed with your choices, or even someone from your past who's judged you based on what they think they know about you. Here's the tough part. That's okay. Too many men spend a significant portion of their lives trying to win the approval of others, trying to be liked by everyone they meet. It's natural. We want to feel validated, to know that the world sees us for who we truly are. But the reality is, you can't please everyone. It doesn't matter how good you are at what you do, how much you give to others, or how hard you try to be liked. There will always be someone who doesn't appreciate you. And that's not only unavoidable, but it's also perfectly normal. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, wrote in his Meditations, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." He understood that trying to make everyone like you only leads to frustration and conflict. His message? Focus on your own values and actions, not on trying to win over the approval of others. As you get older, you realize this truth becomes even more freeing. You stop wasting energy on people who don't matter, and instead, you focus on being true to yourself. You stop seeking external validation and start looking inward, finding strength and confidence in your own identity. The Stoic approach is to accept that not everyone will like you, and that's completely okay. In fact, once you stop trying to please everyone, you open the door to a deeper sense of peace. You can finally live for yourself, not for others' approval. And in doing so, you become a man who stands tall in his own truth. Someone who commands respect, not because he seeks it, but because he's comfortable in his own skin. Now, let's talk about another uncomfortable truth. Change is inevitable. As men who've lived a full life, you've seen change in all its forms. The body grows older, friends and family come and go, businesses evolve, and the world around us shifts in ways we never imagined. Maybe you found yourself holding on to the past, wishing things could stay the same, whether it's a career that no longer fulfills you, relationships that have changed, or a time in your life when things seemed simpler. But here's the harsh reality. Nothing stays the same forever, and resisting change only leads to frustration, regret, and a sense of being left behind. The Stoics, in their wisdom, understood that change is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The universe is change, life is opinion." He reminds us that change is woven into the very fabric of existence. It's not the change itself that matters, but how we choose to respond to it. As you get older, you might find yourself facing more change than you'd like. Your body may not be as strong as it once was. People around you may take different paths, and perhaps even your identity and goals are shifting as you adjust to new phases of life. But here's the key. This change doesn't have to define you. It can refine you. Instead of resisting change, try to see it as an opportunity to grow. Life is constantly moving forward, and if you're not adapting, you'll be left behind. Embracing change means evolving, learning new skills, and stepping into new challenges with a sense of purpose. It means accepting that who you were yesterday doesn't need to define who you will be tomorrow. You might not be able to control the change that happens around you, but you can control how you face it. This is where real strength lies. Not in clinging to the past, but in having the courage to move forward with grace, regardless of what life throws at you. And finally, perhaps the hardest truth of all, happiness is a choice. You've likely spent a good portion of your life looking for happiness in the wrong places, chasing success, wealth, status, or the approval of others. It's easy to believe that happiness is something external, something you can achieve if you just get that next promotion, buy that house, or travel to the places you've always dreamed of. But here's the truth. Happiness doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. I know, it's a bitter pill to swallow, especially when life's struggles have weighed on you for so many years. Perhaps you've experienced hardship that left you feeling as though happiness was just out of reach. Whether it was a failed relationship, a missed opportunity, or a health challenge. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that if life were just a little different, then you'd be happy. But the Stoics had a different view. They taught that happiness isn't about what happens to us, but how we choose to respond. The external world will always throw challenges your way, but you can decide how much power those challenges have over your inner peace. This means accepting that you can't control everything, but you can control how you react to everything. As you age, you start to realize that happiness isn't a destination. It's a daily choice. It's about focusing on what you can be grateful for, finding contentment in the present moment, and letting go of the past regrets or future anxieties that so often steal your peace. You choose to be happy by choosing to focus on the things that truly matter: relationships, purpose, and peace of mind. So the next time life feels heavy, remember this: you have the power to choose happiness no matter what's going on around you. That's the true essence of freedom. The freedom to decide how you will respond to life's challenges and still find peace in the midst of them. As we come to the end, remember this: the truths we've discussed today are not meant to discourage you. They are here to liberate you. They are the foundation of strength, wisdom, and resilience. The Stoics didn't shy away from life's hard truths. They embraced them. They understood that to live a fulfilling, peaceful life, you must first acknowledge reality for what it is, not what you wish it to be. So embrace the truth that you're not that important, because when you let go of the burden of being the center of the universe, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters: your character, your actions, and the relationships you've built. Accept that life isn't always fair, because when you stop expecting fairness, you free yourself from bitterness and learn to rise above adversity with strength and dignity. Acknowledge that not everyone will like you, because when you stop seeking approval from others, you begin to live authentically and find peace in knowing that the only opinion that matters is your own. Understand that change is inevitable, because when you embrace change, you unlock the power to grow, adapt, and thrive at any stage of life. And finally, remember that happiness is a choice, because when you realize that happiness is something you control from within, you stop waiting for the world to deliver it to you, and instead you create it with every thought, every action, and every decision. These truths, though harsh, are the keys to a life well lived. They'll give you the strength to face challenges head-on, the wisdom to make peace with the past, and the courage to step into the future with confidence. As you leave here today, remember, the Stoic path is not about avoiding pain or hardship, but about embracing the reality of life with clarity and purpose. Choose to live with integrity, to accept the world as it is, and to find joy not in what you can control, but in how you respond to what you cannot. This is the path to true happiness, a happiness that comes from within, built on the solid foundation of these timeless truths. But the Stoics had a different view. They taught that happiness isn't about what happens to us, but how we choose to respond. Epictetus, in his discourses, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a game changer. You have the power to choose your attitude, your perspective, and ultimately, your happiness. The external world will always throw challenges your way, but you can decide how much power those challenges have over your inner peace. This means accepting that you can't control everything, but you can control how you react to everything. As you age, you start to realize that happiness isn't a destination. It's a daily choice. It's about focusing on what you can be grateful for, finding contentment in the present moment, and letting go of the past regrets or future anxieties that so often steal your peace. You choose to be happy by choosing to focus on the things that truly matter: relationships, purpose, and peace of mind. So the next time life feels heavy, remember this: you have the power to choose happiness no matter what's going on around you. That's the true essence of freedom. The freedom to decide how you will respond to life's challenges and still find peace in the midst of them. As we come to the end, remember this: the truths we've discussed today are not meant to discourage you. They are the foundation of strength, wisdom, and resilience. Remember this: the truths we've discussed today are not meant to discourage you. They are here to liberate you. They are the foundation of strength, wisdom, and resilience. The Stoics didn't shy away from life's hard truths. They embraced them. They understood that to live a fulfilling, peaceful life, you must first acknowledge reality for what it is, not what you wish it to be. So embrace the truth that you're not that important, because when you let go of the burden of being the center of the universe, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters: your character, your actions, and the relationships you've built. Accept that life isn't always fair, because when you stop expecting fairness, you free yourself from bitterness and learn to rise above adversity with strength and dignity. Acknowledge that not everyone will like you, because when you stop seeking approval from others, you begin to live authentically and find peace in knowing that the only opinion that matters is your own. Understand that change is inevitable, because when you embrace change, you unlock the power to grow, adapt, and thrive at any stage of life. And finally, remember that happiness is a choice, because when you realize that happiness is something you control from within, you stop waiting for the world to deliver it to you, and instead you create it with every thought, every action, and every decision. These truths, though harsh, are the keys to a life well lived. They'll give you the strength to face challenges head-on, the wisdom to make peace with the past, and the courage to step into the future with confidence. As you leave here today, remember, the Stoic path is not about avoiding pain or hardship, but about embracing the reality of life with clarity and purpose. Choose to live with integrity, to accept the world as it is, and to find joy not in what you can control, but in how you respond to what you cannot. This is the path to true happiness, a happiness that comes from within, built on the solid foundation of these timeless truths.
I want you to imagine this. It's a quiet morning. The sun is just beginning to rise, casting golden rays through your window. You wake up with purpose, clarity, and determination. You're not scrolling aimlessly on your phone or dragging yourself out of bed. Instead, you feel energized because you know exactly what you need to do to make today count. Every action you take is aligned with your goals, and every step brings you closer to the life you've always wanted. No procrastination, no distractions, just focused, consistent effort. Now ask yourself this: how many of your days actually feel like that? How often do you go to bed at night knowing you've truly given your all? If you're like most people, the answer is not nearly enough. But what if I told you that by focusing on just 10 key things every day, you could change that? These aren't quick hacks or shortcuts. They're timeless principles and habits that build discipline, strength, and success over time. Think of these 10 things as the foundation of a house. Without them, everything else crumbles. With them, you can build anything. Whether it's a healthier body, a sharper mind, financial freedom, or stronger relationships, these daily practices are the cornerstones of a life well lived. But here's the thing: nothing happens overnight. Success is the result of small, deliberate actions repeated every single day. So, grab a notebook, clear your mind, and let's go through the 10 things you absolutely must work on every day to create the life you deserve. Attitude. Your foundation for success. I want you to imagine this: waking up every day with an unshakable sense of purpose, clarity, and optimism. The challenges of life don't faze you because you know you can overcome them. You approach each task, each interaction, and each obstacle with the mindset of a winner. That's the power of attitude. It's the foundation upon which your entire life is built. Your attitude isn't just about being positive, it's about choosing how you perceive and respond to the world around you. It's the silent force that drives your actions, shapes your reality, and determines the quality of your life. Let me explain why mastering your attitude is non-negotiable and how You can work on it every single day. Attitude is more than just a mood or a temporary state of mind. It's your mental and emotional default setting. It's the way you think, feel, and act in response to life's circumstances. Think about two people facing the same challenge. One sees it as an opportunity to learn and grow, while the other sees it as an insurmountable problem. What's the difference? It's not the challenge itself, it's their attitude. Your attitude is like the steering wheel of your life. A positive attitude steers you towards solutions, growth, and success. A negative attitude, on the other hand, traps you in cycles of doubt, fear, and frustration. This is why cultivating the right attitude is crucial. Studies have shown that a positive attitude has real, measurable benefits. People with optimistic mindsets tend to live longer, experience less stress, and achieve greater success in their personal and professional lives. Why? Because a positive attitude doesn't just make you feel better, it makes you act better. When you approach situations with optimism, you're more likely to take action, solve problems, and stay persistent in the face of adversity. A positive attitude rewires your brain to focus on solutions instead of problems. It enhances your creativity, strengthens your relationships, and improves your overall well-being. But here's the good news. While some people are naturally optimistic, attitude is not fixed. It's a skill that can be developed and strengthened with practice on yourself. It influences how you interact with others, how you handle challenges, and how you inspire those around you. In relationships, a positive attitude strengthens your connections with others. It fosters empathy, understanding, and effective communication. In work, employers and colleagues value people who bring positivity to the table. A good attitude can open doors to new opportunities. In personal growth, a positive mindset, self-discipline, perseverance, and confidence, key ingredients for achieving your goals. Your attitude isn't just about what you gain, it's about what you give. By showing up with a positive, resilient mindset, you uplift everyone around you. Your attitude is the silent force that determines the direction of your life. It's not about ignoring problems or pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing how you respond to challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. When you work on your attitude every day, you take control of your life. You become someone who isn't defined by circumstances but by choices. So, start today. Set a positive tone for your day. Focus on what you wrote. Remember, success doesn't come from what happens to you. It comes from how you choose to respond. Work on your attitude, and everything else will follow. Communication is one of the most powerful tools you have. Every day, you interact with people, whether it's at work, at home, or in casual encounters, and the quality of those interactions shapes the direction of your life. It's not just about speaking, it's about listening, understanding, and ensuring that your message connects with others in a meaningful way. Mastering communication is not just a skill, it's a necessity. The way you express yourself influences how others perceive you, and it has the power to open doors to opportunities or close them forever. Imagine trying to share an idea, but your words fail to capture its essence. Or worse, miscommunication creates tension or misunderstanding, leading to unnecessary conflict. These moments highlight the critical role communication plays in both personal and professional success. To work on your communication every day, you must first commit to being present in your interactions. Often, people listen to respond rather than to understand. Genuine communication begins with listening, not just hearing words, but understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. It means paying attention, asking questions, and showing that you value the other person's perspective. Clarity is another essential element. When you speak, ensure your message is simple and direct. Overcomplicating things leads to confusion, and ambiguity can dilute the strength of your ideas. Speak with intention, choosing your words carefully to convey your thoughts accurately. At the same time, your tone and body language should match your words, as these nonverbal cues often communicate more than the words themselves. Another vital aspect of effective communication is empathy. People are more receptive to your ideas when they feel understood. By putting yourself in someone else's shoes, you can tailor your message to resonate with their feelings and needs. Empathy builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any meaningful interaction. Improving communication is a continuous process. It requires self-awareness, the ability to recognize when something you said didn't land the way you intended, and the willingness to adjust your approach. Reflect on your conversations at the end of each day. Were you clear? Did you listen actively? Did you leave the other person feeling heard and understood? These reflections will guide you in becoming better tomorrow than you were today. Communication isn't just about achieving results, it's about building relationships. When you connect with others effectively, you foster trust, respect, and collaboration. Over time, this becomes a skill that sets you apart, giving you the ability to influence, inspire, and lead. Every day presents an opportunity to refine this skill, and the more you practice, the stronger your ability to communicate will become. Self-discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. It is the ability to control your emotions, behaviors, and actions in the face of temptations and impulses. In a world filled with distractions, practicing self-discipline is the key to staying focused on what matters most. It is about doing what you know needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. At its core, self-discipline is the practice of delaying gratification. It's the ability to say no to short-term pleasures for long-term gains, whether it's sticking to a workout plan, maintaining a healthy diet, or staying productive at work. Self-discipline is what helps you make choices that align with your goals and values. Without it, we become susceptible to distractions, procrastination, and the easy path of least resistance. The most successful people understand the power of self-discipline. It's not about being perfect. It's about making the right choices consistently. Each small act of self-discipline compounds over time and builds momentum. It's like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. To develop self-discipline, start with small, manageable goals. Trying to make a drastic change all at once can overwhelm you and lead to burnout. Focus on creating habits that align with your long-term vision. If your goal is to wake by setting your alarm just 15 minutes earlier each day, as you succeed with small wins, you'll build confidence and a sense of achievement that will propel you forward. It's also important to manage your environment. Distractions are everywhere, but you have the power to control your surroundings. Set clear boundaries for when and where you will focus, whether that's in your workspace or during your personal time. Remove distractions, such as unnecessary notifications or clutter, and replace them with habits that support your goals. Self-discipline isn't about strict self-control. It's about aligning your actions with your intentions. It's about choosing purpose over pleasure, persistence over procrastination, and progress over perfection. There will always be challenges and temptations that try to pull you off course, but the true power of self-discipline lies in your ability to recognize those moments and choose the path that leads you toward your desired outcomes. Ultimately, self-discipline is the force that transforms dreams into reality. When you make the daily decision to stay disciplined, you are committing to a future where your goals are within reach. Challenging your limiting beliefs is one of the most transformative actions you can take in life. Limiting beliefs are the stories we tell ourselves about what we can or cannot do, often based on past experiences, societal expectations, or fears of failure. These beliefs hold us back from reaching our full potential and can act as invisible barriers that restrict our growth. Yet, what many fail to realize is that these beliefs are not truths, they are self-imposed limitations. The first step in challenging these beliefs is to identify them. Ask yourself, what is it that I believe about myself that's keeping me from moving forward? It could be beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I don't have the right skills, or it's too late for me to change. These thoughts are powerful, but they are also arbitrary. They are shaped by past experiences, by voices of doubt, and by fears that hold us captive in a cycle of inaction. Once you've identified these limiting beliefs, it's crucial to question their validity. Where did they come from? Are they based on facts or assumptions? For instance, if you believe you're not good enough to succeed, is that based on actual evidence, or are you just repeating a narrative that someone else once told you? By challenging the source and the validity of your beliefs, you begin for what they are, mental blocks, not truths. From there, it's important to replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of, I'm not good enough, try, I am capable of learning and growing. Instead of, I don't have the right skills, shift to, I am always improving, and I can develop the skills I need. These new beliefs are not just more optimistic, they are more aligned with your potential. They open up possibilities rather than shut them down. Challenging your limiting beliefs also requires you to step outside your comfort zone. Growth happens when you push yourself to do the things you think you can't do. Every time you take action despite your doubts, you weaken the power of your limiting beliefs. With each small success, you build evidence that you are capable of achieving more than you thought possible. Remember, it's not just about replacing old beliefs with new ones. It's about taking consistent action toward those new beliefs. If you believe you can learn a new skill, start practicing that skill every day. If you believe you can change your life, start making small, intentional changes every day. The more you align your actions with your new, empowering beliefs, the more you'll reinforce them and create a new, stronger narrative for yourself. Challenging limiting beliefs is a lifelong process. These beliefs won't disappear overnight, but with persistence you can break free from their grip. By consistently questioning and rewriting the stories you tell yourself, you free yourself from the constraints of the past and open the door to a future filled with endless possibilities. Time management is a crucial skill that can define the trajectory of your life. It's not about squeezing as many tasks into your day as possible. It's about making intentional decisions with your time so that you can focus on what truly matters. Every day presents an opportunity to use your time wisely, yet most people fall into the trap of being busy without being productive. The key is not to get more things done, but to get the right things done. Managing time effectively requires a shift in mindset. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the constant demands of life, whether it's work, family, or personal obligations. But the truth is, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they choose to spend that time. Success doesn't come from working harder or longer, it comes from working smarter. To start managing your time better, the first step is to identify your priorities. What are the things that move you closer to your goals? What are the activities that bring you the most value? Once you know where your time should go, it's about creating a structure around those priorities. Set clear goals for what you want to accomplish each day, week, and month. Break those goals into manageable tasks and focus on completing one thing at a time. It's also important to eliminate distractions. In today's world, it's easy to get sidetracked by emails, phone calls, social media, and other interruptions. These distractions steal precious time and leave you feeling unproductive. To combat this, set boundaries for when